you guys hear me now? Or no? Is it? Oh, or no? Can you guys hear me now? Just comment to see if you can hear me now. If you can't hear me now, this is really bad. I don't know why this is happening. Hold on, give me a second. You guys can hear me now. Okay, good. So basically, I was talking by myself for the better half of the 7 minutes, the whole time that we were on here. Great. Let me just go back and answer your questions. That was horrible. I apologize for that. Again, send me those super chats so I can get better audio and better equipment. Jeez Louise. I don't know what is going on with this software. I'm going to have to talk to him. Okay. So now that we're back on, thank you so much. Romero Puentes from the BEASTwriter family. Just wanted to let you guys know, Mike Tang, we were having some audio issues. Usually we come on 2:30 p.m. every Thursday for Tang Thursdays on our live stream. However, he had to take care of some business. He was going to pop in at 3. He's working on some audio, so we're going to get him in. I wanted to start off the podcast on the right note. Obviously, we didn't do that. There's now audio visual problems. Hopefully, you guys can hear me now. So I'm just going to repeat myself. Romero Puentes, I love these picks. Getting to your question, I know you reached out to me on Twitter. I love J.C. Horn. I love Javonte Williams. I love getting Kellen Mond in the 4th round. You guys know about Tutu Atwell. I talked about that in my live stream yesterday and how he was my sleeper pick. And yes, I like the D'Angelo Hall, or not D'Angelo Hall. I like the D Hall cornerback pick from San Diego State University. Love those picks. All right. Trent Payne. Is Javonte? Oh, here we go. We're just gonna bring it in. Oh, man. Hey, can you hear me? I think it was mine, bro.
It was yours, huh? What happened?
I don't know, dude. You know what? That's why I said the super chats. Once we get the super chats up and I can afford better equipment, dude. I don't know. StreamYard's messing up, dude.
Hey, it's all good. We're here. I'm 12 minutes late, but I'm here, man.
But like, it's not professional. It's horrible. Like. This is not.
But I think our listeners understand. They understand, right?
Dude, I don't know, man. I'd be ticked off if I'm part of the BEASTwriter family. It's like, dude, this is not the way, BEASTwriter. Like, I can't hear you, bro. I apologize. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, dude. I don't know what's going on. I honestly don't know what's going on. But anyways, we're back on. Thank you for tuning in. We have Mike Tang here. He's gonna pick up where I left off, and we're just gonna talk about and go over some questions. So, Trent Payne for the BEASTwriter family says, is Javonte Williams better than Mostert? We got 2 backs already. Jeff Wilson needs to eat. So here's my analysis on Javonte Williams. I already did a podcast on that. If you have yet to watch that podcast, go ahead and do that after this live stream. I like Javonte Williams, what he brings to the table. From a physical, tough, north-to-south, violent running style, I really like what he brings. I like to talk about the contact balance, absorption that he likes to take and initiate contact. He always plays with the low pad level and plays behind his pads, always following forward for extra yards. So that's something that you really like to see when I evaluate the running back position. It's very important also that when you look into his going into his pro day, based on the measurables that you can kind of predict on what you see on game film, you're not going to get a burner. He's not going to be the Alvin Kamara type. He's not going to be the guy who's going to be able to turn a quick slant coming out of the flat into a 85-yard touchdown. That's not his game. But what you will get with Javonte Williams is a tough, hard-nosed runner between the tackles who is basically scheme dependent. I think he's better fit for a power run-based scheme. I don't see a run cut back where he can just turn and flash and go. But at the end of the day, I really like what I see from Javonte Williams, and I think he's going to be a nice pick for either the Miami Dolphins, a team like the New England Patriots, or even the Pittsburgh Steelers at pick number 55. What is your take on Javonte Williams? Have you done any do you know much about Javonte Williams? If you don't worry. But yeah, that was just something that I pointed out on my podcast.
Honestly, earlier. I think you said it all about Javonte Williams. Where do you project him to go in this draft so far? Second round so far?
Yeah,
okay.
Second round for sure.
You said that he's a scheme player here.
Yes,
Do you think he's any different than like what we have in Jeff Wilson Jr. at this point? Because Jeff Wilson Jr. is kind of like a scheme player as well. He runs between the tackles. He's a power runner. Do you think he's any much different than Wilson?
He's definitely a different hybrid. In fact, I would say Javonte Williams is like head and shoulders above Jeff Wilson. I think
Mhm.
Jeff Wilson benefits because of the system. I'm not saying Jeff Wilson is a bad running back. He's
Yeah.
definitely a good running back, but for the system, you can plug me at running back. We can plug you at running back. We can plug anyone off the street in running back in Kyle Shanahan's system, and we can be successful. We've seen it happen based on what his father had done with the Denver Broncos. He got guys like Olandis Gary up and running. He got guys like CJ Anderson up and running. And he also got guys like Terrell Davis. So he's proven that you can Philip, and it just the list goes on and on and on about these running backs under these systems. And we put too much stock in some of these players. Like, wow, these guys are putting up some great numbers. And, a lot of it has to do with the system. And here's my problem with people who are saying, oh, we're cool at running back. Well, the Niners haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since 2014. And even if you go by the running back by committee approach, people tend to lose focus of what's really important when it comes to the offensive line. The offensive line is the engine that makes any offense go, no matter what power run based or zone blocking scheme you run. The question remains to be seen. If you work with a stable running back, one primary running back, you will have the better knowledge of how to block for that running back, because again, it comes down to leveraging and splits. So if you're running a reach block and you're saying, well, on this reach block, I know I can just let this defender blow right past me because I know my running back right here is going to make that defender miss based on the split. And then I can just go ahead and hit the second level with ease, and then we're off and running. Well, if you have a different running back rotating into the combination of snap counts, it really breaks up the rapport that you have. So at the end of the day, it's almost like, yes, I understand the running back by committee approach, but if you played football, if you know football, you know that team chemistry is of the utmost importance. And what people tend to fail to realize is the offensive line is the one that makes these running backs so great. It's not the running backs, because if it wasn't for the offensive line, there'd be no holes to hit or no cutback lanes to hit. So it all starts up front. Again, it comes down to, our next question. What are they going to do in the draft? With all these pro days that are coming up, Rashawn Slater had a nice pro day. Elijah Vera Tucker had a nice pro day. We're going to we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but yeah, and getting back to your question, I don't know. I really think Javonte Williams is a different breed. He's going to go in the second round, possibly to a power-based run scheme, although he could be a nice play for the 49ers, because I do believe, again, you can plug a mouse at running back and they'd get yards. What are your thoughts there?
Do you think maybe the Niners will trade up to get into a second round pick here? Because I think with their needs right now, they're probably going to go cornerback, defensive end, or they may go defensive end, cornerback for the first two picks here.
Okay.
I don't really see them picking a running back out of those first two. What are your thoughts on that?
You're hitting me with so many good questions. I hate you. You're making me think, Mike. I don't like thinking. No, to answer your question, it comes down to your analysis on whether they should go edge or cornerback at pick number 12. If I'm looking at it from a GM perspective, because I always like to think like I'm the GM, because ultimately that's what really makes sense. That's how you really gauge how well you really know an NFL team or all the other 31 other NFL teams. So you kind of have to play this chess game. And based on what John Lynch has done, he went out and re-signed K'Wan Williams on a 1-year prove-it deal. He then re-signed Jason Verrett on a 1-year prove-it deal. He then went after Emmanuel Moseley on a 2-year, $10.1 million contract. When you put that all into account, and then you look at the financial balance sheet, and then you look at the draft and sitting there at number 12 and say, hey, man, J.C. Horn, man, that guy was putting up some great measurables out of South Carolina. But do we take him knowing that we have all these guys on 1-year prove-it deals? Because what if they ball out of control and we don't want to let these guys go? Then we're just stuck with a first-round pick who's just waiting to get his rep counts, but he won't get that because, again, Emmanuel Moseley signed a 2-year deal, so he's not going anywhere if he has a good year. Jason Verrett might get re-signed. So what does that leave J.C. Horn? And then K'Wan Williams plays the slot, so you're not going to put J.C. Horn in the slot position. Yeah. So it's a tough position. I don't think they're going to go cornerback, to be honest with you, at number 12, although I do. It's not saying that I wouldn't make that move if I was the GM, because again, Jason Verrett's going to test free agency. That's why he came back to San Francisco on that 1-year prove-it deal.
Yeah,
right. That 1-year, $5.5 million deal, or whatever it was. So to play a little devil's advocate here, I would love the pick of J.C. Horn as an insurance policy. Being in the insurance game myself, you always need to account for insurance, right? So you never know what's going to happen out there. Everyone says the right things. Everyone says they're going to do the right things. We
Yeah.
love you. We want to keep you. But at the end of the day, it's all money talks, man. We all know what walks. JC Horn would be a nice addition at number 12 if Patrick Surtain is off the board to the Dallas Cowboys, who I currently have in mock there at number 10. So I don't think they're going to go cornerback. However, edge is a weak class. I talked about the edge class being so weak. It's really bad. Like, this edge class is horrible. Like, in my grading system, I don't even have an edge rusher ranked in the first round as a first round grade. I don't. They're that bad.
Right.
And you talk about guys like Quitty Pay, and no offense to Quitty Pay, he could end up being an all-pro player because, again, the critical factors are there. The strength to the conversion to speed to power, all this, we get the high motor, we get, we see flash plays of his Pro Bowl potential, right? We've seen it with other players I'm not going to mention, but we all know who I'm talking about. Is this another Rashawn Gary? Another guy who went to the Green Bay Packers, drafted high in the first round, but again, the production wasn't there.
Yeah.
Coming out of Michigan. So, again, why every single year we make the same mistake on projecting these players to be something that they're really not if they haven't done it at the college level?
Are you saying that JC Horn has not produced in the college level? He only had about maybe 2 interceptions this past season here, but I think he had over 20 interceptions throughout his college career. I think JC Horn was projected to go maybe mid first round, late first round here. But ever since the injury over to Khalid Farley here and how he has a similar procedure, similar to what D Ford had in 2017, it makes JC Horn, look pretty good,
Yeah.
Especially if Surtain's going to be picked in the top 10.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, you hit it on the nail. And I'm just going through the comments. Right? I was like, fix your sound. I can't hear you. Yo, Beast, fix your sound. Fix your sound. But this was before you came on. I'm just like, this is all stuff. Hopefully we fixed it. It was my fault the whole time. I thought it was Mike's fault. It was my fault. Anyways, all right. So let's go ahead and get to your questions. I know you guys have questions. Thank you so much, 49ers Ultimate Report. Yeah, hopefully the super chat helps. The audio, I don't know what's going on. Have you had problems with the software, Mike, on your end with Jerry?
Not really. Not this week here. This is the first time. So maybe it was like a, one-time wonder here. So let's hope that the software doesn't do this again.
I don't know. It happened 3 times now. 3
times this week or 3 times today?
No, not today. It happened last week. Michael Miller says Eric Stokes, Georgia, 6'1", 185. He likes him. 40-time, 4.25. I hope the Niners get him. What do you think about him for NITs last year? Eric Stokes is okay. I think he's a little inconsistent. I don't see him as being a true technician, fundamentally sound, but he does have the measurables that you look for in the boundary cornerback. 4 INTs last year. As you point out, I don't know if that's the number, but I'm just going to go based on what you're saying. If that's the case, that's pretty good ball hawking skills. So I do like that. Again, a lot of these GMs and a lot of these scouting departments legit would take players off their board if they can't turn those PBUs into INTs. Like, legit, I know 3 scouts who told me their GMs will take a player off their board if they can't catch the football. Because, again, interceptions are game-changing plays, and in a deep playoff run, obviously, if you win the turnover battle, more times than not, you're going to ultimately end up winning that game. So, good point. 49ers Ultimate Report. I have the ACC network show. So I show Javonte. So basically, he's saying Javonte Williams is legit. Alex Faulkner from the BEASTwriter family said, Ryan, love the Chrome Dome. Man, you rock that. Yeah, you like this? You like this baldness right here? Yeah. All right. Ask us any questions. We'll be sure to answer them the best we can. Let's talk about Seahawks signing Kerry Hyder to a 3-year, $16.5 million deal. What do you think about that?
I think the Seahawks got one heck of a player, to be honest with you. From the Niners standpoint, they had an option of either keeping Kerry Hyder Jr. or trying to retain K'Wan Williams here. I talked about this on my own podcast with Jerry here. Kerry Hyder Jr. had about 8.5 sacks this past season or so. Are we going to, be able to, make up those sacks next season here? Is it going to have to take a healthy Nick Bosa to come back here and maybe snatch up 10 sacks per season? So that's the issue that the Niners face, and I think they decided to go with K'Wan Williams instead of Hyder this time.
It's interesting because at the end of the day, it's like you only have so much money to go around. And the surprising thing why no one is calling this out, people need to start calling out Eric Armstead, saying, hey, bro, you were paid $85 million to be the guy. And here's a guy who was signed to a one-year deal and outperformed you at the same position as you. So don't talk about supporting cast because Kerry Hyder was your teammate and he was still getting it done. Yeah. But you weren't. And don't talk about the double teams because, again, in my grading system, you want to break it down, play by play. I would argue that Kerry Hyder was double teamed more than Eric Armstead in certain situations. Furthermore, if you look at the sound discipline and missed assignments, it comes down to run support. And when Kyle Shanahan goes on record and calls Eric Armstead, one of the best defenders in the NFL, and then I'm looking at my grading system like, what? And then PFF obviously changes their grade. They're like, what?
Right.
Yeah. Come on, dude. I think it's funny when 49ers fans, and again, the BEASTwriter family stays real. I keep it real. You guys know I keep it real. But let's just tell, for what it's worth. Let's just take it for what it's worth, man. Anything that Kyle Shanahan says, you have to take it with a grain of salt because a lot of it's BS.
So you're saying it's all smokescreen, a lot of this stuff,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah. It's a lot of smokescreen, right?
Come on. How are you not going to say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you not say that? And again, people who were upset about the 49ers letting DeForest Buckner go, well, hey, you have someone to blame. There's Armstead sitting right there, and you can't get rid of him. Why couldn't you resign? Why can't you go after and sign an edge rusher in free agency? Because you know this edge class is weak in the draft. Well, you already have one in Eric Armstead, and he's Dana Stubblefield 2.0, so he's going to ball out of control. He might even lead the league in sacks this year because of Nick Bosa. I'm telling you, the guy only shines with better supporting cast around him, and it was Parag Marate and John Lynch's fault for extending a guy who was a one-year wonder at best, and now he's reverting back to his former self. And the only reason he's good is because he has other players around him who are better. And Kerry Hyder Jr., to me, anybody who will say this, if you disagree with this, I don't know what game you're watching. Kerry Hyder outperformed Eric Armstead tenfold last year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that there. I think it's a good analogy that you compared Eric Armstead to Dana Stubblefield. I think Stubblefield had one good season? That was when, like 97 or something?
1997, he had 15 sacks. Was
feasting off Bryant Young's double teams, right?
Yes. So. And I talked to Bryant Young about that. Dude, I used to watch, Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young, I used to work at Club One in the Silver Creek Sportsplex. It no longer exists. Was right next to High Five Pizza. I babysat his kids, and I had numerous conversations with Bryant Young and Dennis Stubblefield. And trust me, Dennis Stubblefield knows what's up.
Yeah, it helps to play with great players around you, right? Same goes with Armstead. Feasting off Nick Bosa.
Bro, all I gotta say is, man, like honestly, it's ridiculous because everyone's saying, "Oh, well, how everyone knows that Eric Armstead came at me personally, right? And then where was he last year? He was quiet. Now I guarantee in 2021 he's waiting. Yeah. He has that feel, and he's gonna come at me again on Twitter, which is fine. I don't care if he wants to personally attack me. Cool, that just makes him look bad. We already know where that went the last time. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not saying Eric Armstead is a horrible player. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Okay, I think he is a serviceable player. I think he's a solid starter.
Yeah.
Right. But to call him and give him this $85 million contract based on 1 year of production when you have $28 million in dead money currently tied up in the 49ers salary cap, so you can't really trade him and you can't really move on from him because no GM wants to take on that risk for a complimentary role player. What does that say about you? What does that say about you? And then for him to go out, let's call it for what it is. Yeah. And then for him to go out to the media and be like, oh, whatever. He's more worried about me than worried about the actual game at hand. So where is his focus? There's a sign in the 49ers locker room that says, don't listen to the noise. But hey, he listens. And as team captain, that's not a good look. Just saying it. Putting it out there.
Yeah, he's been a little quiet this past season, though, for good reason, right?
Crickets.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I'm just an amateur fanboy, ego lifter, short man complex guy. Come at me, bro. Alex Faulkner says, if you're putting money down on who John Lynch Josh Wither at 12, trading up or trading down. Which player would you bet he takes? What do you think?
That's a tough one, to be honest with you, because they could do a lot with this pick here. I don't know if they're going to trade up for it. I can see them trading down. If they don't like JC Horn, I think they might trade down to go with a defensive end cornerback combo. Even though you mentioned that defensive end is probably pretty weak in this draft here, but I could see them trading down and going for a guy like Quitty Pay, and also Georgia cornerback Eric Stokes. If they want to go that route there. Beyond the top 3 cornerbacks, a lot of cornerbacks are under 6 feet. Asante Samuel, Elijah Maudin there. And I think they're looking for a guy over 6 feet tall, to guard the DK Metcalfs, to guard the DeAndre Hopkins here, because the three corners that we signed are under 6 feet. K'Wan Williams, I think Mosley is under 6 feet, and Jason Verrett are all under 6 feet tall. So.
Great analysis. So getting back to Alex's question, Alex Faulkner, great guy. If you guys know, he dropped some serious knowledge on my podcast in the comments. I love Alex. Good guy. So in getting back to your question, Alex, on whether they would trade up or trade down, which player would I bet that GM John Lynch takes, not who I would take. Here's a surprise pick that no one is talking about, and I am gonna bring it up, shed it to light based on my analytics. All these colleagues, for people who cover the Niners, are gonna be like, oh yeah, they're gonna put an article about it. But you heard it here first, because no one else put that out there yet. Elijah Vera Tucker. If Elijah Vera Tucker, the USC guard, is available at 12, don't be surprised if Rashawn Slater is off the board, that they go ahead and reach for Elijah Vera Tucker. Not saying it's going to be a bad reach, but in essence, it is a reach, because Elijah Vera Tucker is scheduled to go, and based on my analytics, in around the 18 to 25 range. Now, if he gets pushed up and Rashawn Slater is off the board, because again, this interior guard class is not the strongest when it comes to looking at the horizontal board, do you take Elijah Vera Tucker, who had an extremely good solid pro day, and when you look at his measurables, his arms are only 32 and 1/8 arm length. So 32-inch arms is not going to get it done for an offensive tackle. You want that arm length to be around the 35-inch range at least, or at least 34 and a half, 35. It's at 32. I can guarantee you there are at least half the teams in the NFL who already are looking at Elijah Vera Tucker as strictly an interior guard, wiping him off the board as a potential offensive tackle. So Elijah Vera Tucker, what do you think about him? I think he might be a play for San Francisco that no one's talking about, because everyone's talking about Rashawn Slater and how he put up 36 reps on the bench press, or whatever that number was, 33 or whatever that number was. I really like Elijah Vera Tucker, but I think that might be a reach. But what are your thoughts on Elijah Vera Tucker?
Well, if Lynch has learned his lesson about reaching for players here, right? Wouldn't he want to trade down for Elijah Tucker? I would say trade down the pick, get more picks here and maybe draft the guard, Elijah Tucker, maybe later in the first round. But I really would want Rashawn Slater, to be honest with you, now looking at some of the available guys here. So if I was Lynch, I would trade down. And then I would consider Elijah Tucker as well. So,
thank you so much, Robert Watson from the BEASTwriter family, our first winner of the BEASTwriter family giveaway. Thank you for your generosity, my man. I really appreciate it. Robert Watson's always just chiming in and showing us love, man. I like it. I like it. The BEASTwriter family is all about good vibes only. It's cool stuff that we got going on here. All right, 49ers Ultimate Report. Thank you so much, Robert. So many 49er fans want Gardner Minshew. Is that even an option?
It is an option just because of what the free agent quarterback market is right now. Here. What are the available options? We have Brian Hoyer, we have Blaine Gabbert, we have RG3, we have Alex Smith, and that's about it, to be honest, right? Am I missing anyone out of that free agent list?
Pretty much it, dude.
And then if we're talking about guys that we can trade for, Sam Darnold has been rumored for many months to come to the Niners here. And then we have Minshew. right? But then the thing with Minshew is that his cap figure is only going to be $850,000, right, for this coming season.
Yeah.
And then after that, 2022, the cap hit is 965,000. Right. So that gives a lot of teams incentive to trade for a guy like Minshew, right? So we have teams like the Broncos who might be looking for a quarterback. We have teams like the Bears who might be looking for a QB2 here. So are the Niners willing to go in a bidding war against those two teams?
Right. Interesting you point that out. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not high on Gardner Minshew. I think the Minshew mania has passed by. I would rather them go after, like Robert Watson said right here. He says, go after Sam Darnold, like, or trade up for a quarter. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, we're always talking about quarterback. You know why? Because no one wants Jimmy Garoppolo. Not even Niner fans don't even want Jimmy Garoppolo. You know why? Here's a reason why. Because everyone's tired of talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm serious. Everyone's tired. Like, they're tired of talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, is he staying? Is he going? Go. And then there's some people that come out of the woodworks. Oh, well, remember what happened in 2019? And then people are like, oh, yeah, do you remember what happened in 2020? And then it's almost like, oh, Jimmy Garoppolo, trade bait. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo this. Oh, Fred Warner's tied to Jimmy Garoppolo. Come on, bro. Like, dude, just wipe your hands clean of Jimmy Garoppolo and start fresh. Just done. Ship him off to New England. He'd do well in New England, by the way. I think he'd revive his career in New England. I think Bill Belichick would do that. But it's time to wipe your hands clean of Jimmy G. That project is over. And if it wasn't over, these leaks wouldn't be reported. These trade rumors would have never taken place, and we would never be talking about it consistently. Because let me tell you something. If those rumors or those leaks were untrue, John Lynch would have went on KBR, the flagship station, and said, you know what? This is totally fake. They're untrue. But how come he hasn't said it? Maybe he's the one leaking it. You don't know
who's leaking it here, but those rumors have been going on for about 2 seasons now. So every fan base hates their own quarterback unless it's Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Like, we all want someone. We all want someone new.
That's true.
No quarterback is really safe out there. But what do you think, Beast, about real quick about the CJ Beathard going to the Jaguars? Do you think that's going to impact a guy like Minshew possibly being traded over to the Niners, just because Minshew might not have a spot with that Jaguars team?
I don't see Minshew. The whole thing about it is like CJ Beathard going to the Jacksonville Jaguars tells me one thing. And I talked about this yesterday on the live stream. It tells me that GM Trent Baalke still has a strong relationship to some within the 49ers organization, because for CJ Beathard being a third round pick and now going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, someone internally in the scouting department definitely let Trent Baalke know and put in a good word for CJ Beathard, say, hey, this guy, he's kind of but you guys can work with him and you guys might have something there. So first and foremost, that's something to keep an eye on for, because again, if you look at what GM Trent Baalke is doing in Jacksonville, he's building up the same type of team that he built up in San Francisco. Now, people can say, well, it wasn't really Baalke's team to begin with. It was, Scott McCloughan's team and so forth. And he was just building up. But hey, he was the GM. He made the deals in 2010 that landed Anthony Davis, Mike Iupati. So people say, well, that draft was already set up. I wouldn't say so. So getting back to Gardner Minshew, I don't know, man. Like, it's a tough call. I don't like Gardner Minshew. I just don't like him, dude.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of his. All right. Key Johns 25 from the BEASTwriter family. What do you guys think of Paulson Adebo? Obviously from Stanford, incredible ball skills, but how's he overall?
Is he over 6 feet tall or?
You know what? He just had his pro day. Let me look up his measurables. Paulson Adebo. Here's a guy, Paulson Adebo, I looked at last year, and he was supposed to be. Mel Kiper had him as one of his top cornerbacks, and all of a sudden he just crapped out. And here he is. He had a pretty strong pro day. The Stanford pro day he looked pretty nice. Let me just pull up his number: 6'1", 190 pounds. This guy is supposed to be so he's tall and lanky. Basically, he's built like Richard Sherman, more so.
Right.
But
I wonder if there's similarities to Sherman in that aspect,
No.
or not?
I mean,
Not.
aside from his height, weight, speed, and the length, I mean, he
Mhm.
has the length to go ahead and make plays on the ball. He has good speed. He has really good speed. That much I like his game film speed. I mean, the guy he's good. He's good there. He's a two-time first team all Pac-12, right? So I mean, obviously this guy can play, right? But playing in the Pac-12 is definitely different from playing in the SEC. But I like what he brings to the table. I think he has great explosiveness. I saw a 3-cone drill. He did a really good job there. He has fluid hips. He can turn and stay stride for stride with the receiver. The problem with me and his game, it comes down to sometimes he's a little choppy in his back pedal, which kind of prevents him from losing ground when it comes to wide receivers gaining separation. That's a huge one for me. I don't know. But I do like Paulson Adebo.
You do like him. Where do you project him to go? Maybe what, 3rd or 4th round here, or maybe higher?
No, I wouldn't take him higher than the freaking
than the 4th, 5th round, or is that what you're saying?
I mean, maybe late 3rd, maybe late 3rd, maybe a 3rd round pick, third, 4th. I definitely wouldn't take him in the 2nd. Definitely wouldn't take him in the 2nd. Because again, if you look at the cornerback draft class here, and I'm looking at my analytics right here, and as I mock up my big board, man, spent tireless hours like the other day just like doing this and just making sure, double checking, talking to scouts, talking to coaches, talking to personnel people. He's not even. I mean, I would have him late third round pick at best.
Yeah, he'll be a steal at the 4th round, right?
Yeah, and again, you got to look at it. People put too much stock in this, in people's like measurables. But people need to understand one thing. Like, measurables are only there because as a scout and as a talent evaluator, you want to confirm what you see on film.
Yeah.
People do it backwards because they don't have the time. It's not their job. It's not their 9 to 5. So I don't expect them to watch game film and study it. But, from a fan perspective, you quickly just go to the pro day and be like, oh, wow, this guy's good because he put up some good workout warrior numbers. For me, I don't get wowed by that. I don't care if he ran a 4.2 940. I don't care if he ran a 4.3 140. As long as you produced that number, because I come into the pro days with my own numbers, predicted numbers based on what I see on film. Mm-hmm. And so I predict their numbers on what their pro day numbers would be. And if it's in line within that range, then it confirms. But if there's something off, like if their broad jump was supposed to be at like a 127, but then they pop in at 115, and then their vertical jump should be like at, let's say, a 37.5, but it pops in at like a 34. That's going to raise some concerns for me because, okay, so he has some explosion factors. Maybe I have to go back and watch the film and see, was this guy really explosive, or what happened on these specific plays that made me believe that he was going to get those numbers at this pro day, and he ended up doing it. So that's something that I want to point out because, again, here in the BEASTwriter family, and I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I think it's very important because the value that we're trying to bring here in the BEASTwriter family is to make you guys think outside the box. You can get any content anywhere. The difference between here and the BEASTwriter family is we actually break it down brick by brick. So when you watch film on NFL Network and you see these guys talking about Twitch, I talked about Twitch yesterday on my live stream. What exactly are you talking about when you talk about Twitch? You're talking about muscle fibers, right? It comes down to fitness. It comes down to exactly explosiveness. Where is this explosiveness coming from? People just look at speed, but no, it comes more so than your technique. How do you come out? How do you fire off the blocks? How do you leverage your technique? How do you play with sound leverage throughout the rep? Do you win the rep early in the down? How do you convert that speed to power? What does that mean? These are things that we have to look for and really peel back layers of the onion to get to the core. Because if we don't do these things, we're just going to be like everyone else. We're just going to be like everyone. Oh, yeah, he's good. And let's watch this film. Oh, yeah, he turned the corner. Oh, yeah, that was a good play. That was a great. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I think the pro day measurements are just a small baseline, for people to look at here. They shouldn't, take it. They shouldn't take it for face value.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you so much for his ultimate report for your generosity. He says, I'm sick of Jimmy G talk. I want it to end. So we're not going to talk about Jimmy G then. We have a lot of good stuff coming through. Hold on. I am missing some stuff. Oh, Alex Faulkner says Quitty Pay's pass rush win rate was 3rd out of defensive ends the last 2 years, only behind Chase Young and Joshua Uchoa. Is Quitty Pay a gem in this draft that people are sleeping on? Thank you so much, Alex, for your question. What are your thoughts there?
I think he does have some technique issues here, and he's not fulfilling his potential so far. He kind of reminds me of a guy that the 49ers reached this past season
Ah,
in terms of Javon
say it.
Kinlaw.
Who?
Instead of Javon Kinlaw,
There you go.
Javon Kinlaw was a reach here, and it kind of reminds me of that.
There you go.
Really weak defensive end class here. If it was any other season, I think Quitty Pay is probably like a second rounder, to be honest with you. But since it's a pretty weak one, he's probably going to go top 15, top 20 here. So
yeah. No, you're absolutely correct, man. And again, for me, it comes down to production, right? Like, I don't see it enough in the Big Ten for me to warrant this guy being a top 15, top 20 pick. However, every GM will look at the critical factors and say, we can coach up this guy. Well, let me tell you something. Jim Harbaugh is a really good coach. I know the guy personally. I worked with him for many years in San Francisco. Till this day, I would say that his practices are the best run practices of any of the 49ers coaches that I covered, including Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
That's
telling saying a lot. No, I mean, that's saying a lot.
It is. It is. Now, it's one thing that you can look at and say, well, is it the coaching which is the reason why Quitty Pay is not producing on the field? But it's not. It's Quitty Pay. And his rush win rate, again, we don't want to put too much stock into sacks. And Alex Faulkner points that out with the pass rush win rate. But at the end of the day, you have to get the quarterback down. Because these pass rush win rates, let me tell you something. In my grading system, I don't give a pass rush win rate unless that player forces that quarterback into making a negative play for the defense or for the offense, or resulting in a loss of down. So, with that being said, is it really a pass rush win rate, or is it just something else? Because quarterback pressures don't mean anything. Right. If a quarterback scrambles and he throws for a first down, is it really a quarterback hurry because it resulted in the first down? So that hurry doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
It should result in a loss of down. That's how I grade my grading system. I don't know. That's just how I do it. So, yeah, Quitty Pay, I don't know. I'm just not as high on him. Now, he could be a beast. I mean, the guy has shown flashes that he can just dominate. But consistency is key. He's not consistent. He's just not consistent. And for me, any player I evaluate, what do I always talk about? Consistency. No one wants an inconsistent player who's good 1 week and then 3 weeks later takes 3 weeks off and then comes back 2 weeks later and it's like, oh my gosh, he's the NFL player of the month. Oh, where'd that come from? And then the rest of the season, he's nowhere to be found.
Do you think it's a motor issue with Quitty Pay from some of the film that you watched, or
I wouldn't say it's a motor issue. I think he has great work ethic. I've been told he has great work ethic. That's one of the things that Jim Harbaugh really likes about him. It's more of a production standpoint. It's just like, dude, like, how do you miss tackles at the point of attack? Like off a stack and shed when your job is to stack and shed and make plays at or near behind the line of scrimmage. Like, how do you not know how to leverage your technique? And whether it's the down and distance, are you watching enough game film? Because based on game film that I was watching, I knew exactly where the play was going. And so did your linebackers behind you, because I saw how they were leveraging their splits, but you kind of messed up there. So I don't know what's going on with him. Other than just to say he's not being consistent. Like, he's just not consistent. Now, hopefully that can translate at the NFL level, but I just don't see enough consistency in this game. It's very choppy. He's sometimes unfocused. Like, I feel like he has mental lapses throughout the game. Like, he's not really fully aware of or into it. Like, he's not passionate. I shouldn't say passionate, because that's one of the words that you don't want to use during the scouting process if someone's unpassionate. I'm not saying he's unpassionate, but he seems lost. If that makes sense.
It's a risky gamble, for GMs to take there, especially with these intangibles. Can you really, a lot of these things are already learned, right? From these players. Can you unlearn them, right? And teach these guys new tricks. Right.
So that's just the thing with Quitty Pay. And again, it's not a knock on Quitty Pay. I like Quitty Pay. I just don't, I think his stock is a little bit elevated because, again, this edge class is weak. And if we were to come out of next year's draft and that, like, let's say it was a really clean edge rushing class, he would get a second round grade because again, you don't want to base it on potential. I mean, if that was the case, if we're basing everything on potential, heck, we don't even need to watch film. Let's just go on the numbers. Oh, this guy freaking had a 50-inch vertical jump. Wow, wow, that's awesome. Let's draft him number 1. No, I'm being serious though. I mean, and people, again, I'm telling you, the BEASTwriter family, I'm telling you guys, do not put too much stock in these pro day numbers. Like, it's all for clickbait, number 1. And 2, it's just to confirm what evaluators like myself
already know, what you guys already know.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And a lot of people are taking a guy like JC Horn's pro day results. They're thinking, man, this guy is 6'1", 205, runs a 4.3 on his 40, has an 11-foot long, jump here. They're thinking this guy could be the second cornerback taken.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. Anyways, let's get down to it. We have some more questions. Oh, pay Fred. Daniel Castellanos from the BEASTwriter family says pay Fred. Yeah, they need to pay Fred. I don't know what's going on with that. Key John 25 of the BEASTwriter family says Debo is a converted wide receiver to corner like Sherman. Also, same school. Wonder if they could be a little more similar coming out of college. We just touched based on that. Daniel from the BEASTwriter family says Fields or Lance. Who would you rather have, Justin Fields or Trey Lance?
If I was to pick one right now, I'll pick Justin Fields, just because I think he's a little bit more polished than Trey Lance.
I agree with you. there. I don't think it's a no-brainer question. I don't like how people are comparing Trey Lance to Josh Allen. I think that's an unfair comparison.
Ooh, that's a tough comparison there.
Yeah. And again, that's what we do, right? We have to project. Like, our jobs is to project and predict. It's the player's job to perform. So ultimately, are we going to get it right every single time? No, even I get things wrong. But if you're more right than wrong, you're pretty much spot on and on the right track. When it comes to Trey Lance and Josh Allen, though, I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than I wouldn't say that, at least initially. Waruna Pereira from the BEASTwriter family. Do you think Jed York is mature enough to build strong winning culture in Santa Clara? You don't fire a coach who had 44-19 and 1 record. He's talking about Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, well, I think Jed York has kind of learned from that mistake here, right? In terms of keeping Kyle Shanahan on board all this time. So
all right. So I would agree with you. I would say, because I was in the building. My office was there. So going into work every single day was very toxic. Very, very toxic. It was one of those things where you were walking on eggshells in passing, whether it be with Jim Harbaugh, Jed York, whatever. It was just a very toxic working environment. It was unpleasant. Like, I didn't even want to go to work.
Right.
I think we all, no matter what job situation you're in, there's still a humanistic approach, even though NFL is an entertainment sport. At the end of the day, it's still a business. And from a business perspective, I can tell you firsthand, and people, I'm not the first, I won't be the last. I'm sure all of you guys have experienced this one time in your life. When you walk into a toxic environment where in this case, it's like the head coach and the owner or the team president are butting heads, and then you're caught in the middle of it. You can't really take sides, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, why should you? And then you're kind of questioning what the heck is going around you when you're losing focus of exactly why you're there in the first place. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, it does make a little bit of sense here, but I felt like the situation was way out of control here. And I think as the owner, he could have at least kind of stepped in and, try to right the ship, to be fair.
Jed York and Jim Harbaugh did not like each other.
Okay, well, that didn't help, right?
they would go in passing.
Yeah.
And there's there's stories that I can just make millions of dollars right now just saying. That's going to be kept in house. I will say this. Even though we're talking about it years later, but there's stuff that could have happened prior to Jim Harbaugh being relieved of his duties. Now, is he hard to get along with? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do people not like him?
Yeah.
Yes. But at the end of the day, what did he do? He won.
He wins, right?
He won the culture. He built the nobody who's got it better than us, nobody culture. take no prisoners attitude, us versus the world, and he got to 3 straight NFC championship games. At the end of the day, what are you trying to accomplish? Winning. So when Jed York goes on and says we're trying to win with class, what does that say about Jim Hart? Were you not winning with class with Jim? Like what are you trying to say there? So there's certain things that he says that kind of contradicts what's actually taking place at the time, right? Now, maybe he wasn't trying to sly him or anything like that. I'm not saying that's what Jed York, he wasn't intentional. Maybe he was talking about totally something different. I don't know. But what I will say, when you come out and say winning with class, well, what do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I thought it was a poor choice of words. Poor choice of words to also say, the objective was to win the Super Bowl, and that's why the coach is not coming back.
Yeah, that was I remember. Yeah, interesting. Fortnite's Ultimate Reports says Jim Trotter, who is one of my that's one of my mentors, calls the Fortnite's free agency winners. Do you agree? Yes, absolutely.
Well, BEASTwriter, you gave the
B.
Niners a B plus, right, or a B last week?
I don't give pluses or minuses. I just give B.
Okay.
Yeah.
With some of the updated signings this week, do you update that grade, or do you keep it at a B?
For an A, I mean, you have to nail every single pick. I'm very tough.
Yeah.
It's just like when people ask me, oh, is that girl hot on a scale of 1 to 10? Well, 5 is average, right? So it's just like, dude, like, so same thing. Like when I grade A, B, C, D, if I'm gonna grade an A grade on a player, you have to hit on all cylinders, bro. Like you can't be missing anything. And I felt like the one move that they did mess up on was signing Samson Ebukam. Although I do like the pick. I do like the pickup of Samson Ebukam, signing him into a 2-year, $12 million contract. What I don't like is they could have doubled down on those gains, killing 2 birds with one stone. If you go ahead and sign Ahkello Witherspoon to a 1-year, $4 million contract that he got with the Seattle Seahawks, because again, then you won't have a need at cornerback at number 12, and then you can use the remaining savings to go ahead and get Emmanuel Sanders, your wide receiver 3, from the Buffalo Bills, who signed a 1-year, $6 million contract there. And you're still $3 million underwater in cap savings.
Right.
So that's why I say a B. Makes sense, right?
Fair enough.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on. We have a lot of questions. All right. Daniel from the BEASTwriter family says, where will the Niners place in the division?
Well, I think it's going to be, that's going to be a tough one, Beast, because we have Arizona, we have Seattle, and then we have the Niners here,
You're right.
And the Niners got to stay healthy. That's the number one thing, right? Well, it's true. If they don't stay healthy, they're not going to be even top 2 in the division, right? If they lose a guy like Bosa again, hopefully he doesn't get hurt, I don't see them, getting past the wild card, to be honest with you.
Look, there's a lot. The NFC West is probably a top 2 division in the whole NFL. All right. And it used to be the NFC least or the NFC worst, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? No. They're not the NFC's best. Right. When you look at what the moving parts are going on in the NFC West, and you see what the Arizona Cardinals did when they signed J.J. Watt. They keep Chandler Jones, so your edge rushers are already set. They let Hassan Reddick go to the Carolina Panthers on a 1-year, $8 million contract. GM Steve Keim then doubles down on that, trading for Rodney Hudson, who is a top 5 center in my book. And then just today, I believe, went ahead and traded Mason Cole to the Minnesota Vikings for a 6th-round pick. You see what GM Steve Keim is doing. This is just one NFC team. And then they go out and get AJ Green to team up with Larry Fitzgerald, to team up with DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. I mean, that's a dynamic 4 wide receiver set that you have going for them. So there's a lot of things that are in play here. And again, the Seattle Seahawks didn't do much in free agency. But what they did do is, again, they also got a offensive lineman from the I keep on saying Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, Gabe Jackson, trading away a 5th-round pick. So their interior is set because who'd they get last year? 3rd-round pick Damian Lewis. So now your interior is set. They also have, obviously, Dwayne Brown coming back.
Right.
And the moving parts that they did with getting Ahkello Witherspoon and Kerry Hyder Jr., killing 2 birds with 1 stone from one NFC West rival going now to be an asset to your team.
Yeah.
Come on. And that's 2 teams. We even start talking about the Rams, man. I mean, this is ridiculous. And the 49ers, as much as they did in keeping their own in-house free agents, which is a great move by GM John Lynch. I like that. I like those plays. It's interesting to point out that these other teams may be vastly improved more so than the Niners because they're just keeping their own in-house free agents, whereas these other teams are actually going outside the building, bringing in new blood, and these are teams who finished better than the 49ers did last year.
Yep.
I'm going to piggyback on what you said. It comes down to health.
Yeah.
So let's say all things remain the same, all things are equal, the 49ers are healthy. Do you think the 49ers will end up being the top team in the NFC West when it's all said and done?
I think if everyone is healthy, I could see them winning about 12 games in the division here.
I like
if everyone is healthy, if Jimmy Garoppolo plays most of the games here, if Nick Bosa stays healthy, I think they could win 12 games here at its ceiling. If they don't, I can see them being 3rd or 4th in the division here. But like you mentioned, the Cardinals are going to be a team to reckon with this coming season. So it's going to be challenging because we're going to face the Cardinals 2 times, the Seahawks 2 times, the Rams, they got some weapons too here. So we'll see what happens, especially after we compile some of those draft picks here. Then we'll kind of make a determination, who will win the division.
Jason Ellsworth from the BEASTwriter family says, I am subscribed to your channel and have all the notifications turned on, and I didn't get a notification for your live. You need to go to YouTube and complain about this because you're not the first person that said this. You're actually like the 4th person who said this today. I am upset because you should be getting the notifications. So if you're on Twitter or something, reach out to YouTube personally and say, hey, I'm trying to get to the BEASTwriter family notifications system, and I have it located on my devices. It's set to on, and you guys are not giving me notifications. So what's going on with your software engineers there on the back end? They'll get on top of it, I'm sure. Sorry about that, Jason Ellsworth, but thank you so much for subscribing and turning on the bell notifications. Appreciate it. 49ers Ultimate Report. I agree Jim Harbaugh was a great coach for the Niners, but Jim Harbaugh did have problems with ownership and many of the players. Yes, that is true. In fact, I can tell you one story, and I'll share one story with you guys. Again, there's a lot of stuff I keep internally for obvious reasons. I like to, people tell me stuff and say, don't say anything, Beast. I'm not going to say it. There is one story that I will point out. I was inside the 49ers locker room one day, and it was during media. And if you ever stepped foot inside the 49ers locker room, it's just like a locker room, right? Just think of like grown men in a locker room, throwing towels everywhere, shower towels everywhere. It happens, right? But there's also a bin where you can throw your towel in. So long story short, one of the players, not going to name who, put his towel on the ground and then just walked away. And then that didn't strike Harbaugh accordingly. So it was kind of, from that, you can just imagine as you give that facial expression what happened next. And basically, player said, hey, I'm not in college. I'm not one of your college kids. I can do basically whatever I want to do. I get paid to play. And I'm not going to go further into detail, but yeah, there's stuff like that went on. Other things, keep your stuff nice and tidy. There's like cleats thrown everywhere, and there's just a lot of instances, but that's just one instance that I want to share with you. Harbaugh he likes stuff organized.
How do you keep us on the edge there with that Harbaugh story and not tell us the result of what happened there, man? I like it. I like it.
Let me tell you. Well, put this way. It didn't end well for the
player.
The player.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. What year was it? Give me a season. I want to narrow it down. I'm gonna go look at the roster and I'm gonna go through that. And
it's one of the players. It's one of the players. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
All right.
All right. Waruna for excellent answer. Greatly explained. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much, Waruna, for the BEASTwriter family, and thank you for your super chat. For those who are wondering, this is a super chat. As you guys noticed, our live stream was pulled out due to my audio software malfunction. So again, thank you for sending me the super chat and your generosity. All proceeds will be funneled back into the BEASTwriter family to get better audio equipment so we don't crap out like that. That's not professional, and I apologize for that in advance. It really just irritates the crap out of me. I'm probably going to update it soon because I can't do that. I don't know, but how come you don't have problems? I don't understand how you don't have problems and I have problems. And now how people are turning on the bell notifications like Jason from the BEASTwriter family, but not getting the bell notifications. Come on, YouTube. Maybe it's YouTube. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. D Wade, how do you feel about from the BEASTwriter family? He's a Panthers fan. How do you feel about Panthers free agent moves? I like the Panthers free agent moves. I like how they got Hassan Reddick on a 1-year, $8 million contract. I think he's going to do wonders for Brian Burns on the opposite side. Brian Burns obviously had no supporting cast. In my opinion, he's a top 10 edge rusher when he has a supporting cast, or if he did have a supporting cast. So look for Brian Burns to go ahead and pick up double-digit sacks for the first time in his career in 2021. I really liked what the Carolina Panthers did there. I liked the play that they got, stealing wide receiver David Moore from the Seattle Seahawks. I thought that was a very underrated play. Play there where he replaces, not on the level of Curtis Samuel, because Curtis Samuel going off to Washington obviously is a more of a gadget type player, but David Moore, I do like the pickup there. I do like also the Pat Elflein pickup for the offensive lineman. He can play basically offensive guard for you guys, so I do like that play. And then I absolutely love Denzel Perryman. I think that guy's an absolute monster in the middle of your defense, and I loved him coming out of the U. I thought the 49ers should have drafted him, actually. I liked him. I liked him a lot. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Do you have any thoughts on the Panthers free agent moves?
No, I just really like the Hassan Reddick signing. You know, they got him for 1 year. What is it, $8.5 million? You know, he had 12.5 sacks last season. You know, that's definitely going to contribute to the Panthers defense, and they only got him for 1 year. Do you know why Reddick didn't get a multi-year deal, or is there's just no market for him? Or
I think it has to do, one, with the decreased salary cap. One, I think a lot of GMs, I heard from a few people internally that they were wary because of his last 7 games. That's where most of his production really came to light and shed to light, was like the strip sacks that he was getting over the duration of the last few games. And being in a contract year, that's also buyer remorse, because you don't want to sign a guy in a contract year when all of a sudden
sounds awfully familiar to a local player here in Santa Clara.
Say it.
You know, his abbreviations go with American Airlines. You know,
just say Eric Armstead. It's okay. Just say Eric Armstead. Forget it.
A player can be so motivated by money. You know what I mean? Like, when you're motivated, you'll do whatever it takes, right? So
I want him to be motivated by me. I want Armstead to continue to be motivated by me, like Javon Keelan, be like, you know what, this BEASTwriter guy, he thinks he's so cool. I'm gonna just terrorize this quarterback and pick up, like, I'm gonna like pretend that the quarterback is Ryan Sakamoto, the BEASTwriter. I'm just gonna not nail his head off and whatever. And then be hungry. How many celebrations have you seen him do this? Like, come on.
So if you guys randomly see each other at the street one day, you know, how do you think the encounter will be? Are you guys gonna be, you know, what's up, bro? You know, what's going on?
Well, one, he's 6'7", so I probably have to jump to get up to him. But two, let me tell you something. Everybody knows this. I am not afraid of any player. In fact, there was an incident with me and Tate Carradine back in 2015. He actually tried to size me up, and he was the biggest, strongest guy on the defensive line, actually on the team. Now that I think about it, yes, he was. And I stood my ground, and everybody was looking like, dang, this guy's freaking, he's not moving. Like, he's not moving. He tried to, like, you know, obviously you're bigger, you're going to try to overpower somebody, right? Just like looking over him. I was not having it. And I stood my ground, and everybody was like, what the heck? And everybody in the media, right? Well, they know I can hold my own, right? But I mean, Tang is gonna freaking eat me in one bite, right?
Right.
But I'm not afraid of anybody. So I stood my ground. I said, "What are you gonna do? Like, I'm not doing anything bad. Like, I don't know why you want to fight me. Like, I'm just asking you a question, like professionally. Like, it was nothing like ill will. It's just like a question, right?
Yeah.
About his play. And so what happened was I wrote an article about him, how he may be released or traded.
He wasn't
didn't
feeling
like
that.
article.
He wasn't feeling that, huh?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Someone in the media said, "Hey, this is BEASTwriter Ryan Sakamoto. If he says something, odds are you shouldn't be mad at him. You should be mad at the person who leaked this, because obviously it's probably true." And where did he go? He wasn't on the team the following year.
Yeah.
He was in the doghouse for the rest of the year. So getting back to the whole Tang story is, there was one guy in the media, my boy Kevin Lynch, and he was standing there. He's like, "Oh man, this is going on," right? So he tried to like separate us, and I was just holding my ground. I was like, "What? You're not gonna do anything to me? Like, you gonna hit me? Like for what? Like, because I have an opinion about something.
Mm-hmm.
These players feel that they're entitled to do whatever they can or whatever they want, but that's not how life works. We're smarter than that." And at the end of the day, it comes with the territory of getting paid millions of dollars, because whether or not I criticize your play, someone else is going to do it. You might do it. Someone else might do it. But at the end of the day, you still have a level of professionalism that you have to maintain. Otherwise, you're going to lose sight of what exactly is important in your life and in your career.
Yeah. I think Armstead learned his lesson, right? Like he kept silent. He kept silent because I didn't see any Twitter stuff out to you the past season, right? So
so preseason, he called me and Grant, two buns in a pod. He then, that's where we got our name, and then he took my screenshot of my tweet to Grant, and then reposted it, and then basically saying like I shouldn't be doing my job because I'm not good at my job or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's funny how people are allowing him to continue to have this bad look. And then I'm just going to say, I mean, anytime you talk about somebody and attack someone personally on social media, which is fine. I mean, hey, I've heard I've been small, short my whole life.
Right.
I mean, back in kindergarten, I was the smallest kid in school. I was picked on, right? Throughout elementary school, even middle school, not high school, but leading up in my year. So I've heard it all. Oh, you're an ant, you're, whatever. But coming from a professional player, when all I'm doing is doing my job, and then you personally attack me, and then you target a demographic by saying short man complex.
Yeah.
We know where this is going, right?
Yeah.
We all know where this is going. And then to have him go on and be the spokesperson for AAPI, really? People actually reached out to me and said, "You know what? They don't forget that." You know what I'm talking about. And you know what I'm talking about. People are talking about this as we speak. I'm just shedding it to light. Just saying it. It's ridiculous. It needs to stop. But why it's continued? Interesting.
It's straight bullying. It's years and decades of freaking bullying, man.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, for what? Like, what are you trying to accomplish by doing these things?
It makes them feel better about themselves, right? Because there's some sort of void in their lives.
Could be, but hey, I got thick skin, so if he's gonna come at me like that sideways, hey, that's fine with me. Just be ready for the backlash when I give it to you back professionally.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna come back. I wasn't raised that way. Raised that way. Sanjo Sani from the BEASTwriter family says cars have a not so good coach. That's in Cleve Kingsbury. Rams got Stafford, who although has talent, hasn't accomplished nothing serious. And Seattle got Russ, and don't believe there's a Legion of Boom, more like Doom of 2 of 2. All right. Sanjo Sunny also says, we still got that it factor. Kyle has our team playing hard every week. We believe, players believe. All right. Aran Song from Twitter says, is there a market for Aldon Smith? Niners. That's your question, bro.
Yeah, I think the ship has sailed, right?
I don't know. People are talking about it, bro.
I think the ship has sailed. I think after, 3 DUIs, or something like that.
Dude,
I think the ship has sailed. I don't think the Niners are going to pick up Aldon Smith.
I hung out with Alden a few times outside.
Yeah.
You know,
How is he?
in Santana Row.
Yeah,
Me,
pretty
Chris
cool
Cole,
dude. Or
yeah, yo, no, yeah. Chris Cole is a good friend of mine. Obviously, everyone knows that. So me, Chris, T. Brock, Demarcus Dobbs, we would from time to time go out and then go to Santana Row, and he's cool. Like Alden Smith's a cool guy. Like I don't understand why people like. It was just it was a very unfortunate. But Alden Smith is a cool dude, man. I like Alden Smith personally. I do. He's
do you
a good
think
guy.
it was a matter
He's
of
a good
just
guy.
being in the wrong situation, the wrong time, and the wrong, trusting the wrong people, or
That could be. That could be.
it could be, right? Because there's a lot of good dudes, they just put themselves in bad situations, and that's why they get themselves in there, so.
It's one of those things where again you have to surround yourself with the right people, and I'm not saying that's the reason why he had these issues.
Yeah.
But I will say, getting back to if there's a market for Alden Smith to the Niners, I was actually going to do a podcast on this because I think there might be a slight opportunity for Alden Smith to come back and return to San Francisco because Colin Kaepernick isn't there anymore.
Why do you think the impact of Kaepernick not being there?
There was a huge beef personal beef between a girl.
Okay, gotcha. I remember that now. Yeah, I recall.
Yeah, so okay. I don't. That one was.
So there's a slim chance, right?
I mean, even as a one-trick pony, even as a pass rusher, I mean, look what the 49ers did during their late playoff push with Steve Mariucci. Who did they bring back out of retirement? Charles Haley.
For one, I think it was one playoff game, right? Yeah.
For one game.
Yeah.
And he actually made a big impact, right? He didn't get a sack, but he was still a strong, formidable presence. So you had to count for him on every snap. Alden Smith brings that same type of presence. So I would love to see Alden Smith return to San Francisco, even if it's a situational pass rush guy on third downs. Give him 7 plays, 7 to 8 plays. Who knows? Maybe one of those plays he picks up a pass breakup at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he creates havoc, forces an INT.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get the sack, I mean, the guy still has the height, weight, speed to get it done. You can't coach height. The guy's big.
Maybe if you can provide him an incentive-based, type contract.
Yeah,
it would be worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
12-4.
Yeah, he says 12-4.
12-4, baby.
Jason Ellsworth from the BEASTwriter family says, since the Niners re-signed K1, do they still need to draft a cornerback high, or would you trade back and get a quarterback? Go ahead. I'll let you take that.
I think you mentioned that the Niners don't really have to draft a cornerback just because they re-signed, all these corners, right? So
absolutely.
They re-signed them all to these 1-year deals, right? And if they come back, do they even have any space, for that rookie, to continue being on the team, honestly, right? So I see them trading back. I don't know if they're going to get a quarterback in the first 2 rounds, right? I can see them going for a guy like Davis Mills or Mon, maybe in the 4th round here. But I think they need to go the first 3 rounds, and they either got to start getting some offensive line help, defensive end, or maybe that cornerback from Stanford. So
based on what I would do, because this question is based on what we would do, not what GM John Lynch is actually going to do.
Yeah.
So if it was me, I would still,
keep the pick. You would keep the pick, right?
Well, depending on the draft position and who's available. Like if I see a guy like J.C. Horn there, if Patrick Surtain's off the board, I can logically trade back a few spots and still pick up my man J.C. Horn.
Yeah.
And still pick up draft capital. The thing is if you're sitting there at 12, if a guy slips like a Patrick Surtain, I'm going to stay there. I'm not going to move off my spot. I'm going to take Patrick Surtain at 12. Or get this, because I currently have Devontae Smith sliding. I have him going to the New York Giants at number 11, just 1 pick before the Niners. If he somehow falls to the Niners at number 12, I'm going to select Devontae Smith. And I know people are saying, well, we have Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. But hey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and Devontae Smith, you have now a third insurance policy in case you can't resign Deebo Samuel if he balls out, or in case he gets hurt. Now you're not scrambling to find a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 2 because you're already set, because we all know what we're getting with Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
So the strong point of a strength of a team just got stronger. And again, that's where BPA versus reaching for need, diminishing the value of pick comes into play, because when you reach for need and go after a guy like Elijah Vera Tucker, when you possibly can have Devontae Smith on the board, it's a better play to go after Devontae Smith, even though I'm a firm believer of building teams from the inside out, not the outside in, because when you look at the vertical board, the better player all around is Devontae Smith. And more times than not, if you go BPA, you're going to come out a better GM than reaching for need.
What if Devontae Smith and that guy from Florida,
Kyle Pitts,
are available at 12? Which one would you take?
Oh my gosh. Why do you have to do that to me, dude? Well, I have Kyle Pitts going to the Eagles at number 6 because obviously Zach Ertz is gone. I think that if both are available, jeez Louise.
That's a tough one, right? But
it's very tough, because if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm looking at it from a personnel standpoint and red zone efficiency and situational football. We just extended Kyle Juszczyk, right? So if we're going with the mindset that we're going to use Kyle Juszczyk more into the personnel situational football standpoint and down inside the red zone, well, I'm going to bank on using more double tight end sets, like 12 personnel, 22 personnel, taking away the wide receiver out and inserting a tight end. Now I don't have to roll with Brostoli. I can use a Kyle Pitts who creates an instant mismatch nightmare. I can then, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, do a lot of window shopping with Kyle Pitts, because I can line him up anywhere on the line of scrimmage, and then I can dictate the coverage and gain some reads and keys based on how the linebacker and how they're playing their splits, based on if the motion's across the formation or where he lines up and who's following me. Then you can kind of figure out down inside the red zone where the best matchup is for George Kittle. See, it's a chess game. So for me, that's a tough call. That's a really tough call. I would have, gosh dang it, man. I would have to say Kyle Pitts, dude. I would have to say Kyle Pitts because, again, he adds another dimension to the game that Kyle Shanahan would love, and opening up the playbook where then it would allow Kyle Juszczyk to be on the field more.
Yeah.
This is all outside the box thinking. I love talking football, bro.
I agree with you there, man. I think if I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to drop to 12.
No, he's not.
You know?
He's not.
And I don't know if Devontae, was it Devontae Smith? Devontae Smith is going to drop, but.
All right. Any thoughts on? I'm not gonna butcher this guy's name. I don't have any thoughts on him. I haven't even done research on this guy yet. Have you?
No, I have not.
Melifon, will we need to do more research? A guy called Beast says from the BEASTwriter, "Sup Beast, thoughts on Chris Sims' top corners and his comments on them." I didn't see Chris Sims' top corners. I don't follow Chris Sims. I'm sure he provides great analysis. Maybe I should follow him. I just don't follow him. I don't follow a lot of people though. I don't know his list is. I know my list. My list is probably better than his list. That's why I have my list. I don't know about his list. I don't care. I'm joking. That's such a douche move. Send me his list, dude. I'll try to break it down the best I can. Fornas Ultimate Report, thank you so much for your generosity. Beast, you're not small. You're a big dude. Yeah. You know what's funny is when people talk about me being small, I then look at it and say, okay, what do you, am I short? Yes. But am I small? No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely not small.
Right.
Short. Definitely. I mean, I'm probably Smurf sized.
But they don't see. How tall do you
think I am? How tall do you think I am? You partied with me.
You know, I think you're what, like 5'7"?
That's being nice. You're being nice. 5'7" in heels.
5'7" in what? Athletic shoes? What are you?
5'7" in feet. I'm actually 5'5", dude.
5'5"? Okay.
Yeah, 5'5". I'm short.
You know, people who saying you're not a big dude haven't seen, you know, your Twitter, you know, freaking videos of you bench pressing on a freaking daily basis, right? So
dude, I gotta hit the bench after this actually. Do a workout video on that. But you know, let's talk about that. Let's talk about exactly the pro days, right? So we see these guys doing the bench press, right? 225. And here's something, again, football and fitness is what we do. That's why you see, you know, the BEASTwriter family logo here.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important because football and fitness tie in together. And when people look at these players who rep out 225 and they rep out like 35, 36 times. Well, look how much they weigh.
Yeah.
They're like 300 freaking pounds.
Yeah.
So they're not even lifting their own body weight per rep. Me, on the other hand, I can do 225 at 154 pounds 22 times. So I'm exerting more
energy.
Yeah. Than on one single rep. And you multiply that and compound that with each rep. That's a lot harder. And when people say, well, you have shorter arms, you have alligator arms, you're short, bro. Like it's like, okay, well, I can play devil's advocate and be like, anybody who knows bodybuilding and knows fitness knows it's much harder to lift more than your body weight than it is to have shorter arms and lift up the same amount of weight. So it's like, I think it's so funny when people try to like hype up their game and be like, oh, that's easy. Yeah. And then I come back at them and then they freaking either block me or they like stay quiet. And it's like, dude, like, don't come at me sideways, bro. Like, you don't know. Like, I think it's funny how they try to critique my work. Legit, I posted a BEASTwriter family workout video of me hitting my abs. And you know how I like to do my swinging, right? And they're like, and this, some troll commented, it's like, oh, what do you know about abs? Because I had my shirt on. And she's like, what do you know about abs? You're using your momentum. That's not going to work. And then I said, okay, cool. So I posted another workout with my shirt off, and I said, and I tagged that person. And I said, oh, what do you think about it now? And she totally just like blocked me. And it's like, dude, like, what? Why are you tripping? Why are you going on someone else's YouTube channel just to troll?
That's what trolls do. You know, trolls love to troll, right?
Man, hey. That's not cool. That's not the BEASTwriter good vibes only. Yeah. A guy called Ed from the BEASTwriter family says Marco Wilson, Paulson, Adebo. Oh, this is the list.
The list, huh?
Yeah, Marco Wilson, cornerback, Paulson, Adebo, Aaron Robinson, Surtain second, Tyson. Okay, Caleb Farley Chris Sims, don't know what you're talking about. I'm not even going to go over this list. Caleb Farley has back problems, bro. Why are you put him at number 1? And why does he not have J.C. Horn or freaking Asante Samuel on there? No, I agree. I disagree with that. Yeah, no comments on Horn or Samuel. So I don't know. What do you think about that list? Do you want to answer that one?
I'm not a big fan of Caleb Farley nowadays here. I wonder how old this list is. You know, if it was recent, I don't think it's very good. I think Surtain should be number 1 here. Do you think Tyson Campbell should be number 2 in this spot? Or do you like Aaron Robinson a little bit more?
I like Aaron Robinson a little bit more, but I still don't have. Hey, my list is right here. I don't even have those guys. These guys don't even crack the freaking barely day 2 picks, dude. I'm telling you, bro. It's not. I'm telling you, all these. I don't know.
These guys.
Patrick Surtain Jr. number 1.
Okay.
J.C. Horn number 2. He's been saying this since day 1. Caleb Farley still number 3. I still like what he brings to the table, but he does have red flags with that back issue. I love Asante Samuel. Absolutely, I love Asante Samuel.
So you're not worried about being under 6 feet for
no. I mean,
Asante
look at me.
Samuel.
I'm 5'5".
Yeah. What is he? 5'10", 5'11"?
He's 5'10", 180 pounds. He does have short arms at 30. You know, I think his arm length was 30 inches and 1/8. What I like to see from a boundary cornerback and the guy who maybe could play the slot, because I think Asante Samuel's best bet is to play the nickel role. He has the fast twitch muscle fibers to go ahead and stay and mirror receivers downfield, no matter how big or how strong, because he wins early in the down with true fundamentals. He's a true technician of the game, and when he stays square at the line of scrimmage, displays patient feet, doesn't open his hips up too early, not allowing a free release for the receiver off the line of scrimmage. He's going to gain instant ground. When you do that, you're always in the position to make a play, always. Yeah. And then you take the measurables that he had at his pro day. He ran a 4.45 40-yard dash. His 3-cone drill was 6.95. That's really good in my grading system. Again, I've been doing this for years, man, and I see the same numbers that pop out. The same numbers that pop out, and they confirm. And if they confirm what I see on film, I'm very confident in my analysis and when I say this player is going to pan out or when he's not going to pan out. And Asante Samuel, again, has good bloodlines because his father played for the New England Patriots. I like Asante Samuel Jr. I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
Couple more questions, Beast, before I have to take off.
All right. 2000s. Oh, bullying is not okay. Yes, it's not okay. All right. If you have any other questions, shoot them over to my man, Mike Tang, before he has to bounce out of here because he has other things to do. Let's see. I think we're pretty good, man. I don't see there's any more questions. That's pretty much it, dude.
All right.
Pretty much it. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in to the BEASTwriter Family Podcast. I'm going to stay on and answer your questions, but my boy Mike Tang has to go. Thank you so much, Mike Tang. I appreciate it. If you want to follow him, go ahead and follow him on Twitter. It's Mike40H8. And again, Mike, just go ahead and retweet me, and then I'll repost your handle so people can follow you.
All right, man. It's good to be on once again. I'll see you guys next week.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Take it easy. Later. All right. So we are back in business. Trent Payne from the BEASTwriter fans said Armstead, a no talent bum. You know what? Here's the thing. Karma is a true thing. That's all I gotta say about that. Karma is a true thing. Jerry Yang from the BEASTwriter family. Is Sherman going anywhere? Surprised no one has picked him up. Cardinals picked up Malcolm Butler. Jerry Yang, co-host of the Yang and Tang show. Getting back to your question, Jerry Yang, it is surprising that no one picked him up. Obviously, for those who don't know, Richard Sherman is representing himself. He doesn't have an agent, so that could be a reason why he's not signed. Maybe it's probably best that you get an agent to kind of help you out with leveraging some of these deals. I don't know. But at the end of the day, he's still on the open market. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to the Arizona Cardinals, even though they just got Malcolm Butler. Because again, who left? Patrick Peterson signed a 1-year, $10 million contract to go and play for the Minnesota Vikings, although they have Jeff Gladney and Cameron Dantzler there, as their boundary quarterbacks, their first and third round pick respectively. They brought in Patrick Peterson to be that mentor for those younger guys. I like that move. However, I think Patrick Peterson was well overpaid. He's not the same player as he once was. In my grading system, doesn't even grade out to be average. So with that being said, I still think Richard Sherman could possibly make a play for the New York Jets. And we just saw the first domino going over to the New York Jets from the San Francisco 49ers and Tevin Coleman. Could Richard Sherman be the next guy up? They need a cornerback, and they have money. So don't be surprised. Jan-Paul Edwards-Dios from the BEASTwriter family. Cardinals fans are hoping for the Vikings to do us a solid and go for the trifecta. They have traded for Cole and paid Patrick Peterson. Just take Cliff, bro. See, I just pointed this out. That's why I cover all 32. I got you, bro. See, I knew you were going with this. Great question. What a coincidence. I just talked about this. Yes. Mason Cole for a 6th-round pick. I know you hate Mason Cole. Dude, Sean Kugler was all over Mason Cole. He loved him coming out of college. Interesting that they traded him away because it got Rodney Hudson, a better upgrade. Trent Payne for the BEASTwriter family. He can't ride Buckner's coattails anymore, and his playing is suffering. Yes, our Eric Armstead is suffering, and we are seeing the results on what's going on there. Again, I said it since day one, and my job is to project and predict. His job is to perform. Doesn't like what I have to say, play better. Plain and simple as that. All right, Kim Ferrison from Hofstra. The Hofstra recruit says, at 20 years old, if I went from broke to rich overnight, I definitely wasn't mature enough to handle it then. And now these guys are getting thrown in the limelight. Tough situation. Yeah, very true. Very, very true. Rashad Elselberger said, Alden had 6 sacks last season with the Cowboys. Alden was very last season for the doubt. Oh, very effective, for the BEASTwriter family. Thank you so much, Rashad Eichelberger, for your comments and analysis, and welcome to the BEASTwriter family. I think this is the first time you actually engage with us here on the live stream. As you guys know, I get back to all your guys' comments, and I love answering your questions. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. The BEASTwriter family is alive and kicking. So thank you for that. Jerry Yang. Oh man, I can see Niners Giants pass on Devontae Smith. They picked up Kenny Galladay and John Ross. True. They picked up Kenny Galladay and John Ross. However, I did do a podcast on that, on why I believe Devontae Smith could still be in play because of Sterling Shepard's contract. He inked a 4-year, $41 million contract with $16.2 million in guarantee. Well, you can't get rid of him if you're GM Dave Gettleman this year because you'll be absorbing a $1 million cap hit. However, when it comes to next year, you can wipe your hands clean of $6.5 million off the books. And if you need an insurance policy, it's not going to be John Ross because he only signed a 1-year deal. Kenny Galladay obviously got more guaranteed money, so he's the wide receiver 1. But to be the wide receiver 2, look for Devontae Smith to be that guy. Makes sense. All right. Aron Singh, Niner fan from Twitter, says, respect to you for looking the way you do. Keep on doing what you're doing. I enjoy work. Thank you so much, Arun. I appreciate it. From Twitter, get yourself a YouTube account, bro, so you'll be entered for our Family Friday giveaways. Again, we are giving away this nice farewell to Candlestick Season Park 1971 to 2013 Candlestick flag in mint condition. Limited edition, to be honest with you, because only season ticket holders got this on the first day at Candlestick. I remember, if I remember correctly, it was the game against the Green Bay Packers when Anquan Bolden balled out of control in that game. I believe that was the game. And where Joe Staley almost got in a fight with Clay Matthews. I think that was the game. I do believe that was the game. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Eddie Martinez from the BEASTwriter family. Do you think Jimmy G makes the overthrown pass if he had another chance? Anything is possible. Anything is possible, bro. Or does he just not have that kind of touch? Probably doesn't have that kind of touch. Aron Singh says, based on 49ers free agency, what compensatory picks can we expect? That remains to be seen. The compensatory formula is very thought out process. I did do a podcast on that, on the algorithm. However, it's not true to exactly what the algorithm is. There's a lot of factors they don't want you to know about. But in all, it's like players lost, players gained, performance-based, snaps played, off-season awards. A lot of that comes into play. Obviously, on top of, the formula, exactly how the NFL does it. I don't know the formula, so I can't give you an exact number. Eddie, thank you so much. Eddie says, thank you for answering, sir. Excellent channel. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Yeah, send me any questions you have. I'll be more than happy to answer them in the best way I can. And again, I'll answer him because we have Mike Tang off. So let's go ahead and talk about the draft. You guys all want to know my draft analysis, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the draft, right? What's going on with the draft? What's going on in today's society as it pertains to these pro days? Well, let's take a look at what's going on. Based on my analytics and in my grading system, this edge class is not the strongest. There are a few players that I like to talk about, and this is just talking about all 32 NFL teams. We're not just talking about the Niners here. This is the BEASTwriter family where we talk about all 32 NFL teams. Let's start on the defensive side of the football, specifically the defensive tackle position. Christian Barmore is definitely my top-rated defensive tackle. Now, some people question that. Why? He's 6'4", 310 pounds. He ran 4.93 40-yard dash. What you see on film from him, in my opinion, over the course of the last 2 years, is a guy who can generate a consistent pass rush being in a 34 base defense or a 4-3 front. So he's not scheme dependent. The guy is strong at the point of attack. He can win with the bull rush, but he also has an array of pass rush moves in case that fails. So these are some things in his game that I really do like to see in Christian Barmore's game. I think he's going to do wonders for any team that picks him up. And again, he's not scheme dependent, which adds value to him as a first round pick. Second guy I like to talk about, who no one is really talking about, but I'm really high on him, is Marvin Wilson out of Florida State. The guy clocked in at 6'4", 303 pounds. I mean, he's an immovable object. Now, I did want to see more strength when it comes to his bench press. He only put up 23 reps on the bench press, and he weighs 303 pounds. Well, I can do 22 reps on the bench press, and I weigh 154. So to me, it's like, does that functional strength convert on the field? Can he convert that on a daily basis? Because Marvin Wilson is only a 2-down run stuffer. He's not going to bring a pass rush presence. Let's get that out of the window. That's just a bonus. He's only going to be a 3-4 nose tackle. That's what I see in his game. And so if you're a 3-4 team looking for a nose tackle, if you're a team like the Baltimore Ravens or the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would be a perfect play for him. Because again, they just lost nose tackle Tyson Alulu to the Jacksonville Jaguars for the second year in a row. They now lost their starting nose tackle with Javon Hargrave the year prior going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now they re-signed Chris Wormley. Can he play nose tackle? Because every time they've tried to fill that need, they kicked inside a defensive end to that nose tackle position. I don't think so. I think you have to go in and get a Marvin Wilson. Otherwise, you can't, because you can't count on Isaiah Buggs to get it done out of Alabama. You just can't do it. Not consistent enough. Sorry, I love you. You're an Bama guy, but Isaiah Bugs, you're just not good enough for the nose tackle position. And that's why I believe Marvin Wilson would be a solid play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe at pick number 55 in the second round, or possibly if he drops to the third. All right. Let's go ahead and get to your questions if you guys have any. Arun says that the flag will look so good in my restaurant wall. It's a Niner shrine. Oh, what restaurant do you work at or do you own in this case? I'd like to know. Is it here in the Bay Area, number one? Number two, where is it at? I will be more than happy to share the love to the rest of the BEASTwriter family to go ahead and hit up your spot. All about supporting the local Bay Area communities. And if you're in the Bay Area, hit me up. That's what Bay Area is all about. All right. Gavin Upright Cartwright says, who should be the captain? Who should be the captains on the Niners next season? Well, George Kittle would be one. Trent Williams, I still got to believe Trent Williams would be another. I like Alex Mack. I think Alex Mack would be a good captain. So I would say George Kittle on offense, Alex Mack on offense, Kyle Juszczyk. Those would be my three on the offense side of football. Defense, Jimmy Ward. I'd make Jimmy Ward a captain. Definitely Fred Warner, obviously. He's the heart and soul. So Fred Warner, obviously, number one. I would like to see Jimmy Ward as a captain. And then maybe Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa be a team captain. I like that. I like those six guys. All right, Gavin Upright from the BEASTwriter family. Could you beat Eric Armstead in an arm wrestling competition? We can try. You can try. I curl 70-pound dumbbells. I don't know. We'll find out. William Roberts, BEASTwriter family, do you think if we got Aldon Smith, do you think he gets double-digit sacks because of Bosa on the other side? Ooh, I don't believe so. I don't think he's a double-digit sack artist guy anymore. I do like what I see in his game, although I don't believe he has that double-digit sack artist presence as he once had coming out of Missouri as a first-round pick, which John Gruden called a pup. If you go back and watch that draft, he said he's a young pup. Dang, how times have changed. Daniel Castellano says, Aldon Smith going to the Seahawks. Watch. Maybe. Here's a question I want to, thank you so much, Arun. Boss Man's Pizza in San Jose. Arun, I would be happy to go ahead and hit me up. Maybe we can do a pop-up. I'm actually working with a lot of the Bay Area communities. A lot of the BEASTwriter family here in the Bay Area have asked me to do live streams at their location or at their restaurant. I'm doing one with Eat Puesto Taqueria Tacos over by Santa Clara. So I'm going to do one over there for Taco Tuesdays, 2:30 p.m. on our live stream. I would love to go over to Boss Man's Pizza, support you guys in any way I can. Hit me up. Let me know how we can go ahead and maybe collaborate. And so I can kind of get traffic over to your business. I think that's a good thing going. We need to keep and support these local businesses, guys. It's tough. It's tough. And, the BEASTwriter family, we can pull together. We can work as one. So Boss Man's Pizza, San Jose, check it out. My man Arung from the BEASTwriter family. I know I'm going to check it out. I love pizza, bro. So I'll definitely be hitting up your spot. I'm going to look it up. I got my mouth is salivating now because I love pizza so much. Can you tell? All right. Ask me any questions you guys have, and I'll be sure to answer them. And again, if you're just watching on Twitter, go ahead and click the link in my bio, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. So you'll be entered for this Family Friday giveaway, which is this 49ers last day at Candlestick flag. And it was given during the Green Bay Packers game in the season opener where Anquan Bolden had that career day and Joe Staley got in a fight with Clay Matthews on that late hit by Colin Kaepernick out of bounds. You guys remember that game? I do. I was there. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the other stuff. I know I was getting a lot of questions. Here's a question I have for you guys. For you guys who are watching right now, and we're talking about the Seahawks here. Here's a question. If anyone can answer this question, I'm going to give you a prize. And if you can answer this question with the players, I will give you this prize. Since becoming the Seahawks head coach in 2010, how many 49ers players has Pete Carroll signed having played for the San Francisco 49ers the year prior? If you answer this, you'll be winning something. And again, this is why I do it, because again, my BEASTwriter family who supports me, I'm going to give back to you guys. So if you guys can answer this question, the first person who answers this question is going to win something. It's a nice prize. You're going to want to know what it is. So answer this question. The first one who answers it, you guys are going to get something. You guys are definitely going to get something. All right. Gavin Upright says, Ryan, supporting the local area, giving back. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's what Bay Area Rooted is all about. That's what Bay Area Rooted was founded on. For those who don't know, that's my LLC. Bay Area Rooted LLC is where we donate back to local nonprofits. We don't operate as a 501c, obviously, but we do like to give back to the Bay Area community. So what we do is we do a lot of pop-ups, work with a lot of local Bay Area communities, raise money, and start because of COVID, it kind of stopped that movement. However, because things are starting to open back up, we are now back on track. Again, we have a clothing line. And again, in order to get our clothes, we don't have an online store. You have to go to the physical presence of wherever our pop-up is to gain foot traffic to whatever mom and pop shop we're trying to build up here in the Bay Area local community. It's all about giving back. It's a great way to do it. And again, if you do want to order something online and you live overseas and you want to support, that's fine too. You can always reach out to me. I can always ship that out to you ASAP, like today, like right now. So, yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead. 2007 Magoo, you are just an awesome guy. Thank you so much. And you know what? Aside from that, you guys are awesome. Like, you guys are my my lifeline. I've been saying it since day one. Again, this is why I did the logo. Again, for those who are new to the BEASTwriter family, BWF stands for BEASTwriter family. And let's start up that hashtag, BEASTwriter family. That's going to be a hashtag that I want trending on all social media outlets, because when you're here, your family, we have all 32 fan bases that chime in here. We're all about good vibes only. We don't want all that negative energy. If you want to go on these other social media outlets trying to outdo one another, no matter what team you root for, go over there and do that. Here in the BEASTwriter family is all about the good vibes only, and that's what we try to build up here. So again, thank you so much for the love and support. I wouldn't be in the position I am without guys like you, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. Gavin says, did you figure out how to do a phone in? I haven't done that yet, bro. I have not figured out how to do that yet, but I am definitely going to, you know what? I'll probably do that today. I'm probably going to do that today and figure out how to do a phone in. And when I'm at the gym, I'm going to ask around. There's a lot of software, hardware engineers guys who watch my live stream, and I'm sure one of those guys know what they're doing because they're senior executives here in Silicon Valley, and they're very bright. So yeah, I probably will get this up and going maybe tomorrow. So that'll be a good thing going, because that's going to just add value to the BEASTwriter family channel. I would love to engage with all you guys through a phone call. That'd be cool. That would be totally awesome. Do a live stream with you guys calling in. That would be so fire. Oh my gosh. You know how lit that would be? That would be so cool. I don't know. That'd be dope. Gavin, I'm going to get on that, man. Don't you worry. Worry. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Grant does use StreamYard. So I have StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard as we speak. Obviously, the audio is not in my favor right now. It's been crapping out the last few times. But interesting to point out that I will do that, because I do want call-in. I do want the engagement. So how do we get that engagement going, right? So we're going to start doing call-ins. Absolutely. Dono C from the BEASTwriter family, love the show, bro. If the 49ers draft a quarterback and the top 5 prospects are off the board, who would you pick and why? Thank you so much for your question, Dono. I appreciate the love and support. Welcome to the BEASTwriter family. And again, we're going to do a lot of stuff with this logo. I'm going to get to your question, but we are actually in the process of making shirts right now for all you guys as giveaways. And these aren't just cheap quality shirts. I mean, all our stuff, if you guys ever got stuff from Bay Rooted, it's all the same quality, made, designed here in the US. you guys are going to love the stuff that we have here. I'm telling you, this is game-changing. The BEASTwriter family movement is game-changing. We're going to do good things here. But in getting back to your question, thank you so much for the love and support and the kind words. I really appreciate it, bro. If the Niners draft a quarterback and the top 5 prospects are off the board, who would you pick and why? Oh, man. So I have to pick a quarterback. So if the Niners draft a quarterback and the top 5 prospects are off the board, who would you pick and why? That's a good question. I wouldn't pick anyone. I just don't like the quarterbacks, man. Maybe Kellen Mond, maybe. I guess he would be the best of the bunch. But yeah, I guess I would say Kellen Mond. Kevin Jeter from the BEASTwriter Fantasy. What's up, Beast? What's going on, bro? Thank you for tuning in. How you been, bro? Haven't talked to you in a while. Since yesterday. Thank you for tuning in. And again, let's go ahead and talk about my draft analysis. You guys, that's why you guys are here for. That's why you guys are tuned in. You guys know how I run my draft analysis and analytics. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Micah Parsons. What did you guys think of Micah Parsons today? I was just looking at some highlights on this pro day right before hopping on the stream. Guy looked beastly. Azeez Ojulari. A lot of you guys are asking for my take on Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia. I like him. I like what he brings to the table. I like his height, weight, speed. He clocked in at 6'2", 249, has the wingspan with 34-inch and 3/8-inch arms. Is that how you say it? 34 inches and 3/8 arm length. 3/8 of an inch arm length, I guess you would say. Basically, 35-inch arms. The guy is crazy lanky. He ran a 4.62 40-yard dash, which is pretty decent. I would like to see that in 4.55 range, but it's okay. 4.58, somewhere in there. But 4.62 is good. Put up 26 reps on the bench press. That's really good for his size, only at 249. So I really like that. And he also had a broad jump of 127. So again, I went back to the game film and the tape, and what I saw in his game, actually, he put out bigger numbers than why I actually anticipated him to put out. So that could be one or two things. One, he was training really hard for these measurable numbers. Or two, I have to rewatch the film, which I probably have to do anyways, and see exactly what I missed. Because I didn't think he was going to put up 26 reps on the bench press. I didn't see that. I thought maybe he'd put up like maybe 24, 22, but not 26. And anybody who knows the bench press, one rep is a huge difference. Like if you go from 25 to 26, that's a lot of functional strength off that one rep, especially toward the end of your set. So Azeez Ojulari, I really like him. I really like Azeez Ojulari. Gavin Upright Cartwright says, is Najee Harris a viable draft option? Yes, absolutely. He's my draft crush, Gavin. I said it all along. If he's there at 12, trade back, pick up a draft pick, and select him right before the Miami Dolphins are slated to pick a running back, Najee Harris, before 18. I like Najee Harris. All right. Jason Ellsworth says 7 former 49ers. No. The answer is more than that. More than 7. More than 7. Not 7. And who are those players? If you can get this, I'm telling you, no one's getting this answer. If you get this answer right, you'll win something. On the live stream, of course, because it's live. We're doing this live. On the live stream, if you get this correct, I will give you a nice prize. I don't want to tell you what it is, but whoever can get this right will win something. Since becoming the Seahawks head coach in 2010, how many 49ers players has Pete Carroll signed, having played for the San Francisco 49ers the year prior? Shoot, no, 8, forget. More than 8. More than 8. More than 8. All right. William Roberts from the BEASTwriter family says, what about Kylan Hill? Kylan Hill's all right. I mean, I don't really see much potential in Kylan Hill's game. What I do like about him is, again, you look at the measurables, you see what he can do on the field, and then you kind of confirm what he can do off the field. I like his running style. I think he's a very aggressive, tough, physical runner. However, with that being said, I'm not that high on Kylan Hill as I am a guy like Javonte Williams, even a guy like Michael Carter. I like Michael Carter, and he split time with Javonte Williams with North Carolina. So I'm not high on Kylan Hill as maybe some other analysts are. Just my take. But thank you for your question. 2007 Magoo says 16. Close. And who are those players? Remember, you got to get the players, Magoo. Got to get the players, bro. I would love the Niners to get Najee Harris. Mostert is 30. Brad McCullough from Facebook. 30 years old and injury prone. Wilson is unproven. Get that Belichick back who can do it all. Oh, get that bell cow, excuse me. That can do it. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to head out. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, please do so in the lower right-hand corner of your screen if you like my analysis and insights, and join the BEASTwriter family. Again, if you're on Twitter, all you have to do is go to the link in my bio. It's up there 24/7, 365, and you can follow me there. Or if you're on YouTube, like Brad, just go to youtube.com/BEASTwriter, and you can open up a new web browser and follow your boy on YouTube there, and subscribe to my channel and join the BEASTwriter family. Again, for everybody who joins on YouTube and subscribes to my channel, you'll be entered for this Family Friday giveaway, which we do every 2:30 p.m. on our live stream. Who else does giveaways? I'm the only one. So this is a farewell season to Candlestick Flag. Again, it's a commemorative collector's item only given to season ticket holders on the season opening day, where Anquan Bolden faced the Green Bay Packers in his 49ers debut, where he went off for, I think it was like 200 yards or something like that, and where Joe Staley got in a fight with Clay Matthews along the sideline on that late hit by Colin Kaepernick. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I'm about ready to take my pre-workout and hit the gym. I'll be posting some workout videos later. I know you guys asked about the combine and the bench press, so I'm going to actually teach you guys the proper form of how to perform a proper bench press, how to train for the bench press for the combine, how to create leg drive, how to create a specific bar path, your breathing habits, what to look for, what to gauge there, and how to build up your strength on each and every rep. Thank you for tuning in again. Have a good day. BEASTwriter out.